So you want to be a beauty influencer, but do you really? Well, today I'm going to share with you my experiences as a full-time beauty influencer, kind of give you guys an idea of a day in the life of a beauty influencer, and also give you guys a lot of little tips, tricks, and insights as someone who works on both the brand side and the creator side, as far as how you can make money as a creator, how you can work with brands, and so much more. So grab a pen and paper because I'm about to drop all the tea. Okay, let's start off with, firstly, who am I and why do I have the right to even make this video? So for those who don't know, my name is Cody Jay. I'm a certified professional makeup artist. I've been creating beauty content on social media for a little over 4 years. I've been a full-time beauty influencer for about 3 years or so, and I also have about 10 years on the business and brand side of social media. I also own and run Cody's Creator Academy, which is my business expansion where I teach creators and businesses of all sizes how to scale and increase their revenue across social media, grow their brands, grow their presence, and ultimately diversify their revenue streams and become more successful at the end of the day. So let's talk about my experiences so far as a beauty influencer. First and foremost, I want to start by saying that not everyone is going to have a perfect experience as a creator. Honestly, no one's going to have a perfect experience as a creator. So first off, there are so many pros and cons when it comes to being a beauty creator. So let's just keep it real. Is it nice to be able to have my own schedule? For sure. Is it nice to be my own boss? For sure. Are the financial opportunities amazing? Yeah, when you get to that point, they absolutely are. While there are so many good things about being an influencer, not just money, but opportunities, meeting other people, getting to work with brands around the world, just getting to express yourself and just have a lot of fun, there are a lot of negative sides to it. And I really want this video to be very comprehensive and just very transparent, very honest, because it's not all like just fun and giggles and free stuff and money. It's not that like at all. Like there is a good amount of that, but there's a lot of negativity to being a beauty influencer. And by no means am I complaining, because I'm very grateful to be where I am in my career and in life, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But there are some negative realities that come with this job, and it just needs to be talked about. Especially if you're someone who wants to become a full-time content creator or influencer, like you need to know a fully rounded truth about this job. Some of the negative things about being an influencer is, of course, haters, trolls, negative comments, things like that. And honestly, at first, yeah, it bothered me. It bothered me a lot because I wasn't used to putting myself on the internet like I do now. And don't get me wrong, like I said, when I worked for brands for years behind the scenes, but that's behind the scenes. People don't know it's me, creating content. People don't know it's me running socials and responding to comments. They don't see my face. Whereas now, you see my face all day, every day. I've been asked a lot, like how do you deal with negativity and trolls and whatnot? And honestly, it doesn't affect me in the slightest anymore. At the beginning, yeah, it bothered me a lot because I just wasn't used to people, just saying negative things about me. And I try to be the nicest, best person I can be. So to have people just come out of nowhere and say mean, hurtful things, or just make up complete lies, or just make up stories and narratives, and it kind of throws you for a loop because it's just not something, you're used to, or I was used to. So it took me a little while to get used to that and just realize at the end of the day, these people have no life. And if they do, they're not utilizing it really well. They need to sit on the internet and make up stories about someone who's never even interacted with them, talked to them, or anything like that. Like, it says more about them than it does me. And also I feel like there's a little bit of a responsibility put on viewers or social media consumers when they're seeing stories or articles or comments or whatever it may be, tweets, all the things. You have a responsibility too, not to just believe everything that somebody says. Like, do your own due diligence before you just believe some random tweet or something like that on the internet. So if you're able to kind of thicken up your skin a little bit, you'll be fine. But it does definitely take a little bit of getting used to. As far as working with brands, of course it can be a great thing. You can make money, you can get free stuff, you get to really, partner with these companies that you enjoy. So there's a lot of great aspects of that. But the negativity that comes with it is, let's say you work with a brand and you're working with them for a long time, then all of a sudden they just do a lot of stuff that's, not great. Unfortunately, even though it shouldn't be this way, a lot of people will look at you like you're somehow, responsible for that or in connection with that just because they paid you one time, or, they send you PR even though you have absolutely nothing to do with the decisions that that brand may make. So you have to kind of keep that in consideration too and be a little bit more picky as far as what brands you work with and why. Also, when you get to the point where you're making money, you have to worry about actually getting paid that money, because unfortunately, a lot of brands like to play this game where they're like, hey, we want you to create content. We want it, a draft sent to us. We want to review it, approve it, all these things, get it posted, blah, 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 all within a week. But then we want to wait, 30, 60, 90 days to pay you. So you really have to get better at, negotiating your contracts, enforcing contracts, due dates, all those things. So it's not like people just do a brand deal, a paid partnership, anything like that, and then all of a sudden have tons of money in their account. There's a lot of running around and a lot of having to actually get the brand to pay you. It's very It's ridiculous because if you expect me to do something in a timely manner, I expect you to do yours. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that is holding the money, literally. So what are you gonna do? You have to wait. And sometimes you have to be aggressive. And you don't wanna be aggressive because it makes you look bad, but also how are you gotta get your money, you know? Overall though, my journey thus far has been pretty great. I've gotten to work with some of the largest brands in the world. I've gotten to speak at social media marketing conferences for my successes as a social media content creator, influencer, and I don't think I said it earlier, but when I said I had a decade of experience, I've held titles with brands such as social media strategist, social media coordinator, social media manager, and more. I've worked with some of the largest beauty companies in the world, including most recently ColourPop Cosmetics and right now Winky Lux. So like I said, I have experience both as a creator and on the brand side of things. So I have a very well-rounded opinion, thought process, all the things, insight when it comes to all things social media, influencer marketing, etc. But no, my journey so far has been pretty great. I've gotten to do a lot of amazing things. Like I said, speak at conferences. I've gotten to partner with brands. I've gotten, to do paid partnerships with some of my favorite beauty brands, which has been exciting. For me, I'm very particular and picky with the brands that I work with. And for the most part, I only partner with brands using products that I actually use or have used in the past. Or if I'm doing partnerships, I like to make sure I'm very clear with the language I use so that it doesn't seem like I'm endorsing a product I just started using, 2 weeks prior to making that video. It's usually just like a first impressions or my thoughts on it, or just simply relaying information about the product that the brand wants people to know about. As far as interactions with other members of the beauty community, I would say overall it's been pretty positive. Most people are very supportive of other creators or of myself. I try my best to be as supportive, kind, and helpful to others as I can be. I negotiate other creators' contracts, both big and small creators. I am routinely sending out my free product to other creators or other just random members of the beauty community just to be nice and give them, new product to try. I'm constantly providing resources and contacts to other creators, helping them get verified, helping them increase their revenue streams, just doing all the things I can that I do on a daily basis, for myself and my job, but for them as well, just to help because, like I said, I've done this for a very long time. I teach this for a living. I do this for a living. So not everyone's at that point, even if they have, they could have 10 million followers, but that doesn't mean they're making any money at all. I've worked with other creators who literally have 4, 5, 6 million followers, but have no idea how to monetize their platforms, how to make money, how to negotiate deals, or even speak to brands or get PR. Like, following numbers doesn't really mean much anymore. Like, you can have 200,000, 300,000 followers and be making 6 figures a year, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that way. A lot of people see a certain number of followers and they think, oh, they're making a lot of money. Or they have a little bit of followers like, oh, they're not making any money. And it's genuinely not that way. I can speak on my own behalf. I can speak of other creators that I've worked with. It literally is not that way. So don't think you have to have millions of followers to actually make money and do this full time. Because when I went full time, I think I had maybe 150, maybe 200,000 followers total. And I was able to make 6 figures. It's all about diversifying your revenue stream. It's paid partnerships. It's affiliate codes. It's, I was working behind the scenes with brands. I was doing UGC retainer deals with companies. I was a Snapchat spotlight partner for 2 years. I made high 6 figures both years just from Snapchat alone. So there's so many ways that you can diversify your revenue stream so you can start becoming a full-time creator much faster. You don't need millions of followers. I cannot stress that enough. So let's talk about how to get started when it comes to wanting to be a full-time creator or influencer. First and foremost, identify what niche you want to be in. Do you want to be in beauty? Do you want to be makeup and skincare? Do you want to be fitness, cooking, health, etc.? Once you've made that decision, of course, create your social media platforms. Make sure they're completely separate from your personal accounts. I can't stress that enough. You want to stay professional. At the end of the day, if you want this to be an actual job, an actual career for you, you need to treat it like a business because, I am a full-fledged business. I file my taxes. I file as a sole proprietor. I'm a registered business, all these things. So if you want it to be treated like a genuine business, you need to treat it like a genuine business. So keep your social platforms separate. Make sure, starting with your profile photo, you have a really nice profile photo. Make sure it completely encapsulates who you are, what you do, and what people can expect from their platform the first time they click on your face. Moving over to the bio in your social platforms. Keep them short and simple. I like bulletin point kind of bios. Just tell everyone exactly what they can expect when they come onto your platform. Tell them the key important points of who you are, and what you have to offer. So for me, when someone gets on most of my platforms, it'll say certified professional makeup artist because that's a certain amount of authority I have when it comes to the beauty tips that I provide. I also include social media coordinator because that's what I do, business coach because that's what I do, owner of Cody's Creator Academy because that's the second largest part of my business. And then usually I have a link to my YouTube or my other social media just so that I can try to start cross-transferring, followers and subscribers from one platform to the other. As far as content, again, really identify what you want to be known for. If you're doing beauty? Do you want to be known for tutorials and reviews? Do you want to do challenges? Do you want to do a variety of all that? I say to try and create 4 to 5 content pillars and stay within those pillars. It's fine to mix it up once in a while, but for the most part, especially while you're trying to gain an actual following, you want to start becoming known for something. So think of 4 or 5 content pillars. So like for me, it would be reviews, tutorials. I do oddly satisfying little makeup, creations where I, remake products into something else. I have skincare, and then I have other ones where it's like my Creator Academy. So I actually have like 5 or 6, but try to think of just like 4 or 5. It doesn't have to be these. It doesn't have to be exactly 4 or 5, but try and think of a few things that you want to like really nail. Like when you go to make content, like these are the 4 content buckets, content pillars that you want to fill up with that content. Again, so that people start realizing like, oh, well, when I go see, so-and-so's platform, I'm probably going to see a review or tutorial. And I love that. And you can start creating better relationships with your audiences like that and start bringing in those followers. Let's talk about the interactions that you have with other people on social media and how important that is. Now, if your ultimate goal is to, grow your following, work with brands, all those things, staying professional is not the same as not having a personality, not having fun. I stay very professional for the most part, but I have plenty of fun and I show my personality off all day, every single day. You can have a really good balance of it as long as you're doing it the right way. Again, as someone who has worked for and currently does work with some of the largest brands in the world, like we're always looking. I can see, for example, anytime, like I said, I'm a social media coordinator for WinkyLux right now. I can see every single time somebody in any part of the world tags us in a video, uses our products, uses any of our hashtags. I can see everyone's content. And even if you don't tag us, I can still see you and your content. I can see all your analytics, even if you try to hide them. I can see literally anything and everything about you as a creator from some of the software that we have available to us as brands. And that's important because if you're running your platform and you're, really foul language, just being aggressive, being mean to people, blah, 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 and then you tag a brand and you really want to work with them, you can have the most beautiful content in the world. But if I see that you're not really a nice person or you don't treat people with respect, you're not professional, why would you think that I would want to hire you from the brand side of things? All it does is create worry and create the possibility of a bad working relationship. And I'd rather just go to the next person who also creates beautiful content and is professional. So keep that in mind. Like I said, you do you, don't change you. But if you're not able to be professional, you're not able to be kind of a productive member of a community, it's kind of like, it's gonna be much harder for you to find success or work with brands because they also have risk by hiring you, just like you have risk working for them. So, if I'm hiring someone on behalf of, let's say, WinkyLux or ColourPop, that could be a problem if that person I hired is, trash talking people and being discriminatory and stuff like that. That's a reflection on the brand because we hired you. So keep that in mind. I feel like that's such an important point to make. As far as interactions with other members, just genuine members or creators, as far as in the beauty community or whatever community you want to be a part of, it's difficult because it's one of those things, there's a lot of jealousy, and I'm going to say that because it is a fact. There are people that to this day have never had an interaction with me in any way, but will openly say how much they hate me. Like, I've never done anything negative to some of these people. I've never said anything, bad about them, or I never joined in on the games that they're playing, as far as antagonizing me. I just ignore them and move on with my life. But there'll be people that will swear up and down how terrible of a person I am, how much they hate me, and I'm like, I have no idea why. I'm like, I've never done anything to anybody. So it's kind of wild. And again, there's also people who are gonna dislike you just because of BS, false stories they hear. Like I've seen little stupid Reddit things and tweets about me that are just so insanely false. It's like almost laughable, but just it's so ridiculous. And I'm like, one, the people who took the time to make up those stories, like, pathetic. And two, the people who believe just those kinds of things is just wild to me. So it's like I said, there's always going to be that kind of negativity when it comes to being a creator, but you kind of have to find your core group of people. Find those content creator besties, people who are like you, similar to you, love the same types of content, create the same type of content, have the same type of personalities. Like, find those friends, find your core circle of creator friends, and kind of slowly expand from there. For me personally, I believe in quality over quantity. I'll take my 5 beauty community besties any day of the week over thousands of just like, meh, they're friends, but they're not, One of the most difficult things for me when I started putting my own personal content all over the internet was Twitter, because Twitter's not like the best place if you ask me. And there was just a lot of times where, people would see you get an opportunity, which again, these opportunities are available to everyone. I don't care what anyone says. If you work hard, if you navigate things a certain way, like, there's room for everyone to make money and have partnerships and have successes. So there's just a lot of jealousy when some people get certain things over others. And unfortunately, that'll never change because that's just kind of like a human behavior. But I just kind of view that as like a you problem, not a me problem. My job is to do my job and do my job successfully and pay my bills and provide for myself and my family and help my friends grow and all those things. That's my job. If you're insecure about me having opportunities because I'm literally working 80 hours a week plus, like, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Work harder, But what was difficult for me in the beginning, my point is that people would just say terrible things and it would really bother me. And it was so new to me to have people try and paint me a certain way. And I felt so obligated and inclined, whatever word you want to use, to prove that they're wrong or that they were lying or, justify things. And I'm just like, now I'm at this point, I'm like, I don't need to do that. Like, again, if someone wants to say something, that's a them problem. If other people want to believe what they say, that's a them problem, not a me problem. I'm doing my job, and just because someone says something on the internet doesn't make it true. And it took me a long time to say that and actually believe that. People are gonna do what they wanna do regardless, so it just doesn't matter. I don't have time to focus on that kind of stuff, and you shouldn't either. So really being able to step back and not let certain things bother me took me a minute, but if you can start off earlier in your journey and not let people get to you, especially when you start growing your following or having opportunities with brands or whatnot, people aren't gonna like that sometimes just because they haven't been able to accomplish what you're accomplishing. And at the end of the day, that just means you're doing something right. So just think of it that way, and don't feel obligated to have to prove someone wrong. Don't feel obligated to have to speak up on certain things or defend yourself on certain things just because somebody said something. Like, if other people believe it, that's a them problem, not a you problem. Let's quickly talk about equipment. I get people asking me all the time, like, what type of equipment is needed to start creating content, and there is no specified required equipment. When I first started creating content, like you can see in my YouTube videos from like 4 years ago, like, don't, because they're cringe, as everyone's are when they first start, of course. But you can see I'm literally using my cell phone in my ferret's room, their playroom, against a gray flat wall. No audio equipment, no fancy lighting. I eventually got a ring light, but that's all it was. And then as I grew my following, got more comfortable on camera, really wanted to start putting more of myself and my time and effort into my content, I bought a ring light, a better ring light. I bought, a phone stand for my phone. I bought a little glitter backdrop, things like that. And then eventually I bought soft boxes, and then eventually I bought a camera, and then eventually I bought a little microphone. So like for me, it's just been an evolution of constantly evolving my equipment over time as I've grown, as I've made more money, as I've had more opportunities, all those things, and I can justify spending more money on myself and my business, then I will. So as it stands now, I have a full studio. I have my 2 soft boxes, my ring light. I just upgraded my camera again. I've upgraded my microphone 3 times. I have specific overhead lighting. So it's like, there's always ways that you can increase your quality. And that's my main goal when I'm upgrading my equipment, is to just overall create a better experience for people watching and consuming my content, both visually and through audio. I want it to be the best experience I can, but that doesn't mean I have to drop thousands and thousands of dollars day one, because there's no justification for that yet. People aren't watching your content. People don't care yet. But when you get to a certain point and you really do need to actually increase your quality, then you can consider it. So maybe start off with better lighting, because lighting can really make things look a lot better. Start off with a external microphone. There's lots of options, but you don't have to go wild right off the bat. So don't think you do. Just grab your phone, especially nowadays with how iPhones and whatnot are. They can create some incredibly high quality content. So if you have an iPhone, just grab your iPhone. Use a solid wall behind you. Buy a $20 glitter backdrop, or a $20, whatever type of backdrop behind you. Grab a ring light. You could start off this whole thing for maybe a couple $100 if you wanted to add a few more things. But like I said, if anything, just grab your phone, have some good natural light, and start filming. All you have to do is press record. Next, I want to talk about continuously growing and learning. So information is the key to success. If you think you know everything, you're absolutely wrong. I can sit here and preach about all these things until I'm blue in the face, but there will always be someone who knows more than me, who is better than me, and there's always something for me to learn, and that's not a bad thing. If you're continuously trying to soak up information and learn more things, you're gonna go far in this career and in life. All right, let's talk about how to interact with brands to actually gain some momentum on social media. Firstly, if you wanna work with brands, but they've literally never seen you interact with their content or use any of their products, like, why do you think they're gonna wanna work with you, honestly? For me, a lot of times when I'm hiring creators on behalf of brands, it's people who are routinely in our comment section commenting on our product launches, on content that we're posting, giving us their experiences, or tagging us in posts where they've used our products. Because for me, at least, my mindset is I would rather reward a creator who is working hard, who's interacting with the brand and actually, helping us grow as well as a brand. I want to reward them by gifting them PR or setting up paid partnerships with them or anything like that. So definitely putting yourself out there is definitely going to help you a lot. What's better than a brand who knows you by name just because they keep seeing you in their comment section all the time? Especially then, there's a higher chance that they're going to be able to follow you. And once they follow you, they'll be able to see your content more and maybe interact with your content and really just start creating this relationship with them. So if you kind of have to create that relationship yourself, or the phrase 1 foot in the door kind of moment, and if you have to do that yourself, do it by all means. I always tell creators that there are millions, literal millions of people out there who want to do what you want to do as far as being a full-time creator or influencer. So what is going to make you stand out? How are you going to get yourself to be known? You need to pitch these brands. You need to send them an email. You need to introduce yourself. You need to send them some content you've created using their products. You literally need to create this connection or this relationship with them, because for the most part, if you don't do that, how do you expect them to see your content? With all the people that are tagging some of your favorite brands, especially larger ones, all the people that are tagging them in content, how do you expect these brands to see you? You know what I mean? There's millions of people tagging these brands. How are you expecting them to always be able to see your content? They can't and they won't. At the end of the day, you really have to remember that it's as important to create these types of relationships with brands that you potentially want to work with in the future, or just in general, like creating relationships with brands. It's just as important as it is as creating relationships with other viewers or other members of the community that you're a part of. It really all kind of goes hand in hand, and you really need to have a good balance of both of them for sure. So there's just a few more things I'd like to leave with you all. At the end of the day, if I'm able to start at the very, very bottom, absolutely no help, nothing going on, and I'm able to have worked myself up to get to the position where I can do this full time, I can make real money, I can change the lives of my friends, families, and anyone else in my life, so can you. There's nothing that makes me any better than anyone else, especially you. If I'm able to do it, so can you. At the end of the day, you just need to have passion in what you're doing, stay consistent, don't give up, be determined, and more important than anything else, remember who you are and don't change who you are for anyone else, no matter what. At the end of the day, a paycheck is not worth damaging your reputation, destroying any integrity that you have, your honesty, etc. Those things are so important, and at the end of the day, people are going to value that about you more than the type of content you make, or how good at makeup you are, or how good at content creation in general you are. I completely believe in you. Do you believe in yourself? I truly hope that this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comments below, and I will absolutely make sure that I answer each and every single one of them. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Good luck, and I'll see you on the next one. So grab your pen and paper, because I'm about to give you the full 411. No. I get people asking me all the time, like, what type of equipment is needed to start doing content, creating. I get people asking me all the time, like, what type of content. Oh my God. Is it amazing? Also, I own Cody's Creator Academy, which is my. I also own Cody's Creator Academy. I also own Cody's Creator Academy, where I teach Okay, so first and foremost, there are so many pros and cons when it comes to oh my God, I can't talk. I also own Cody's Creator Academy, where I teach individuals, creators, businesses. I cannot talk today. There are tons of pros and. Let me first by say, oh my gosh. Well, today I'm going to give you all the insight. Today I'm going to give you all the behind the scenes and. Okay, first and foremost, there are so many pros and cons when it Okay, so first and foremost, there are so many pros and cons when it comes to being a full-time beauty influencer. Next, I want to talk about information. Next, I want to talk about. It's just as important to create those types of relationships as it is creating relationships with potential beauty. Let's try this again. God. It's literally in my hair. Did you see that? This literally covered me in like white shit. Come on. So I have a couple more things I just like to